called in
to Bucks and Brews, you might hear something
you can use.
like tips on your cash or tips on the suds.
You're gonna want to
The
use
smarts of these stuff.
because they know the brews.
And they know the Bucks, and they know they can't help the stubborn fucks.
So listen up, because shit's not funny.
And save yourself some
Beer money. Bucks
and brews.
Bucks and
Bucks
Bucks
and brews.
brews.
Bucks and Brews.
Welcome back to Bucks and Brews.
Hey, David.
How are you?
Good. What are you drinking?
So I'm bringing up the brews part today with a zero sugar Snapple peach iced tea. And if I get done with that, which I will, I'm going to have a Pepsi Zero.
Pops and pennies.
I had too much to drink the other night with my wife. We were having a fun time on Mother's Day evening.
Yeah.
So we drank a decent amount, me way more than her. But I was mixing her drinks with vodka.
Yeah.
And she was complaining because they were real heavy pours.
Oops.
Oh, well.
Was it at home or at the
It was
casino?
at home.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I just say, as always, guys, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your family. We appreciate you joining us. Jason, thanks so much for hopping on. I'm drinking City of Byron Center tap water because this was kind of I had plans and then we need to make this work, so we made it work really quick.
We've been horrible hosts lately.
Well, we have a busy life.
We do have a busy life, but we haven't gotten these up quite as much as we want to, and we're going to try to be a little more intentional.
Yep.
Getting stuff up, even when we get the episodes done. So I think we had John on like 2 weeks ago, and the episode went up yesterday.
Yeah.
I hadn't taken time to sit down and cut it up. I got a whole bunch. I got the last 2 episodes cut up for Opus Clips, so some clips are getting out there now on TikTok and YouTube again. I shared a couple with you.
Yeah.
One of them with how we started Bucks and Brews. Thanks for joining, guys. Make sure you hit that like button so more people come in. So we're going to talk economy today because the economy is bad. Bad's a word.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a little bit. Nick's going to give us his preview of the housing market and how that's going to be affected. I'm going to talk about stocks and jobs. And we're going to bullshit about the other stuff that we always bullshit about, life and crap like that. So yeah. Nick.
Yeah.
We've gotten a lot of listens lately outside of the US.
We have
A whole lot of downloads from like Vietnam and such, which, I think is great. People are finding Bucks and Brews. They seem to be enjoying us, which that makes us happy.
Yeah, see, some of the little things we've tried to put in have worked. We're always working at trying to get better at this. I really enjoy this, and I think, we need more topics that everybody wants to hear, right? We don't reach out like some of the other people to, hey, let's come on and talk about your debt, and I'll start screaming at you. I understand that it gets, views, but I don't want to turn into Jerry Springer. Right?
Have you ever felt the need to, I know the answer to this, yell at a guest?
Yes.
We've had a couple.
Yes, but
has it ever been about their debt?
no. I mean, it's, I say, right, we've had
We had the wholesaler on,
yeah,
and you got really annoyed because he literally wouldn't get into specifics.
right.
And you were just trying to pull it out of him, and he just was not playing.
To say, and the syndicator, right, just a bunch of things, and yeah, I'll ask. I'm sorry, what's the young kid? Skylar, right? I'll yell at him a little bit, like, why are we buying a tattoo? Right. We have brakes on our car that we have to fix.
Yeah.
Okay, we should probably be a little responsible. But my job isn't to make you feel like crap. You're already doing that. My job is to get you to think differently, right? And to make your life just a little bit better.
Oh, I want to show this off too. Did you hear about this?
I read about it. Yeah. David has a new T-shirt. It's a picture.
Pictures. Spam call?
No, actually, it's an investor friend of mine. I'm going to let him know that we're doing a podcast.
That's bummer. We love spam calls. Yeah, I got a shirt with my wife and daughter's face on it. I'm wearing that tonight because I think it's fun.
Yeah.
I saw it and I thought it was fun, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm getting that.
Yeah.
I think you need to buy those stickers.
I have a bunch of stickers of my daughter sleeping.
I think that's great.
Yeah, I bought my wife a blanket for Christmas, and there's a couple pictures of her sleeping, and I was like, it's a sleeping blanket. So,
Dawn saw it and she goes, "Why the fuck did you buy that?" And I'm like,
hilarious.
"I thought it was fun."
Yeah,
She goes, "When the fuck are you going to wear that?" I'm like, "When I'm out with you."
everywhere.
She goes, "I don't know how to feel about this. Like, it's kind of flattering that you put us on a t-shirt, but at the same time, it's a little bit creepy." And I went, "Oh, well,
Yeah. So,
I think it's great."
I definitely agree with you. I think it's great. It's something I would do, right? Um, you know,
What did you get?
oh man. All right, so your customization and my custom.
Yes.
I got us some coasters, so now you can have one for your Snapple tea. Nice leather coasters with the Bucks and Brews logo on it, and then it also came with a nice set or holder for the coasters.
That right there.
We try to do really cool. Like we love our logo.
Our
Yeah,
artist does not love our logo.
shout out to Nate. Like it's crazy how much you and I like. We have a custom cup.
So happy about our logo and our song. We have a theme
We
song.
have a theme song.
So anybody on TikTok Live right now or on Twitch watching, if you have not listened to our podcast, listen to the first 35 seconds of any podcast. It's our theme song from MLVC.
Yeah.
Crap Rap.
Yep.
That's what they called themselves. They're no longer together, unfortunately, but they made us a great theme song. We love it.
Yeah.
Like we will jam out to it.
And Pops and Pennies has their own theme song.
It does. Yeah.
My daughter loves that one, right? So it's really cool. We have so much to be successful. For some reason, something doesn't just get us out like crazy.
Yeah.
So
I think it's because we're not dickheads.
I think there's that, right? And also, it's hard because you have to get something catchy, right? And we don't force. We have started saying like, subscribe, share, but 1% of people get to do that, and so it's just very hard. We don't buy things, right? Like as in we don't buy our likes, we don't buy our. We try to build naturally, and that's a little different than most people.
Well, and for anybody out there watching us live right now, go up and look review REVUE, West Michigan, and go vote for your favorite local podcast, which Bucks and Brews is on there.
Heck yeah, we are.
I'm saying that right now because I see Christy has joined, and I don't think she's voted yet today. I need to vote myself today.
Oh, today, yeah.
Voting ends, I believe, Friday.
Okay.
So we're in the home stretch.
So, yeah, we wanted to talk, the economy. So, and what kind of brought this up a little bit was the blue dot syndrome, right? A lot of artists are canceling tours
because they have too many blue dots, which are empty seats.
Right. And so they're not selling the way they thought they would and could and should. Which is it's really crappy in the sales aspect. I don't really care if another artist gets rich, whatever. But the fact that Ticketmaster has ruined so much. I mean, yeah, okay, there's a lawsuit and it's still kind of ongoing because they are considered a monopoly, right? That's what they legally got deemed. So they have to split the two. What is it, Live Nation and Ticketmaster, and stop having so many contracts. But we talked about it with the Taylor Swift concert, right? Your friends went to a whole nother country for cheaper than what they could have watched her here for.
Yeah.
Right. The ticket and the flight was cheaper.
Yeah, the entire
and the hotel,
cheaper.
Right? Like you sent your daughter to Canada.
Yeah,
right.
We went to Canada because it was cheaper.
Right.
The ticket itself was cheaper, and getting her there was
much cheaper.
It was just me driving.
Yeah.
Which now driving is an issue. Like Dawn and I were going to go away around my birthday. We're going to go to Baltimore. We're going to drive to Baltimore.
Yeah.
And watch the Cubs at Camden.
Yeah.
And I told her, I'm like, with gas the way it is, I don't think we're going anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, and that's it's one thing I always said I would never complain about. It's funny, right? My mom will call me all the time. Hey, go fill up on gas. It's $4.40 right now, and it's gonna go up to $5. And I'm like, okay, thank you. Okay, sure. So on my car, I have 10-gallon, 11 gallons, right? So it is $6. So it is a decent amount of money. But I'm just like, it took me so long to stop
worrying about
that. To where it's like, that's the one thing I've told myself, hey, if I'm going to, I'm just going to go. I'm just going to go do it. I'm going to fill up that gas tank, right? Like, and so that's my rule with my wife. I'll never complain about the gas to get somewhere. I'll complain about everything while I'm fucking there.
Right.
But not the gas to get there. It's
Well, and-
far beyond out of my control, right? I can stay at a cheaper hotel. I can stay at a cheaper other thing. I can buy outfield seats versus behind home plate seats. I can't control fuel price, right?
Well, and I sit there and like you and I didn't vote for this administration. Um, and supposedly the reason people voted were lower prices.
Yeah.
Nothing's gotten cheaper.
No.
Everything's gotten exponentially more expensive.
Oh.
Now they want to put data centers up everywhere, which is just going to shoot everybody's electric bill up if you're in that area. And they're talking about putting a data center near me.
Yeah.
And if they do, it's going to shoot our electric. I paid $250 last month for fucking electric.
Already?
Already.
Oh shit.
I was consistently around $200 during the winter when my bill's usually 85 to 100.
Yeah.
And Dawn and I have been trying to figure out what the fuck we're doing, but there's nothing. Like we have smart meters that you can plug shit into, and it doesn't seem to be anything we're doing. It just seems to be with these rate hikes, that's where we're at.
Yeah.
Well, fuck, I'm going to be at $450 this summer.
That means I'm going to be at like 7.
Yeah.
Right? Like the pool, the AC, and
Yeah.
all that. Like I'm going to be screwed.
It's ridiculous. And again, you have to look, well, do you have enough money to sustain that? And we've talked about my job a little bit.
Yep.
With the outsourcing that they're doing. And, we had a divisional meeting last week, and basically it was, we've heard all of your complaints. If you don't like it, find a new job.
Sure.
Which, hey, at least you're being honest.
That's a first.
It is. It really is. Because usually they just bullshit us and stuff. But
Right.
It was basically, this is here to stay. And if you don't like it, then find a different job. I know we have somebody that's been with the company since an acquisition we made, and time with both companies is approaching 30 years, and they're done the first of the month.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And again, when you have somebody that's been there 30 years walking out the door,
Yeah.
what are you losing with that? Now, you can sit there and say, well, we can get somebody cheaper, and yeah, you can,
Yeah, of
but
course.
you lose all the knowledge that goes with that person.
Mhm.
And do you care about replacing that? Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't give a shit about replacing it. And again, I think companies are short-sighted. They're leaning. Go ahead.
No, sorry. Go ahead, please.
They're leaning into, well, we're getting rid of people because AI can replace that job. AI can absolutely replace that job, but if you get rid of everybody because of AI or outsourcing, how do the people that live here buy your shit?
So, I want to tangent real quick.
Sure. Tangent time.
My daughter's going to a thing called BizTown on
Mm-hmm.
Friday. I got selected to be a chaperone for that. I'm super excited.
Mhm.
She's actually going to be the CEO of one of the companies that's there and then figure that out. And just like what you said, right? So it's funny because I already started having conversations, which I'm not sure if I'm supposed to or not, but she's like, oh, I have to make a speech or something. And I was like, okay. So then she shows me the speech and she goes, well, and I said, hey, why did you pick this person? Like, why did you make this announcement? And she's like, well, I could just take it out. And I was like, what? Like, no, but like, did you have to?
Brought you to that?
Did you have to make that shot? Well, she helped me with this. And I was like, okay. So I was like, honestly, great job giving recognition, but like, you're only picking one of your employees, right? Like, in theory. And I was like, so you have to ask yourself, how would you want to be treated? How do you want a company to figure these things out? I was like, you can go multiple different directions. Your brain has to start thinking this way, right? You are now in control. Are you going to care about your investors or are you going to care about your customers, right? Like, figure out how you want this to be done. And so it's been really fun to have these little conversations, and I'm really excited to see what comes after a Friday.
I'll tell you, even when I was coaching, one of the things that irritated me the most is when you would ask them a question and they thought, oh, well, they're trying to catch me in something here.
Yeah.
No, I really want to know your thought process here. Give me your thought process and let's talk through it.
Yep. So I sat into a couple of weeks ago. I went to a real estate help me out with the big word conference.
I was going to say meet up, but
Yeah, I say it was a conference. It was 2 days at the DeVos place, right?
Okay.
It's for investors, and but the first guy I saw was an AI person. His big kick was that it wasn't going to be replacing jobs, right? It will make jobs easier. It'll, there might be a little downturn in the fact of like, hey, there's this, but there's always going to be so much more. $1.3 trillion is projected to be spent on AI. The Manhattan Project was small. Apollo Project was very, very small. I don't have the exact figure. Um,
They were just kind of comparing
yeah,
big projects.
in 2026, we're going to spend $690 billion
Mm.
on AI.
Mhm.
And then in 2030, it's going to be it's projected $1.3 trillion. Um, Things that AI is going to be able to do, real quick list, right? Housekeeping, cleaner, butler, cook, gardener, bartender, concierge, handy person, car mechanic, um, decorator, hairdresser, doctor, nurse, personal trainer, life coach, tutor, financial advisor, a babysitter. All of these types of things are going to be things that are going to happen, but you're still going to have people there with it, right? Um,
Still has to have some
Currently,
supervision.
and so, but over the next 6 years, things will happen. Um, Two potential paths lie ahead. Um, right, we 10x the investment into the future in AI. So currently, like, there's a robot that can lift, I think it's 25 pounds. It can walk
Mhm.
2.5 miles an hour. It'll last 5 hours. So we don't have it replacing a full human for a full entire time. Thanks.
New hat.
My new hat. So E&L Rentals. If you're looking for tables and chairs in the West Michigan area, E&L Rentals can help you with that. So, um, but it's he's not. The way he's describing it, and he's a much better speaker, right? World renowned speaker, things like
Mhm.
that. Yes, we're gonna see some things happening currently, but it's not going to replace everything. There's always going to be a need, right? Because if you don't give people jobs, then there's no money
Mhm.
to spend. And a good entrepreneur will find a way to continue to have a person of a need. Um, the other thing that I sat in was we have a local economist with a doctor here at Grand Valley.
Mhm.
Um, Paul Isley is his name, right? Dr. Isley came in and we talked about it. Um, the market is pretty decent right now. Interest rates staying high
Yep.
over the next few months is going to see how many sales we're actually going to have because we're at that threshold of a high number to cause things. Also, the first time in history, we are going to have a decrease in population
Mhm.
for the first time ever in history. The average uh the average woman was having 2.2 kids. For the first time in history, it's going to go to like 1.8, right? Um, it is crazy that we're going to be losing. We're not going to have the growth that we're supposed to be seeing.
Yeah, but you know why that is. People have less money.
I say less money. I would say they have less money. They have different fears. Here's what I want to say, and I'll tell you how I look at it, because I tell you it takes strength in numbers.
Mhm.
The fact that um, they took away women's rights, I
Mhm.
think there's multiple women that have chosen to exercise that right, and I hope that that's a thing that they're doing to
Mhm.
teach us a lesson.
Well, what we're hearing now a lot is conservatives running around going, "Well, not enough 15 to 17-year-olds are having kids. Those are children."
As they used to send people into our schools saying, "Don't have sex
Right.
until you're married,"
These are
um,
children now that you want to have fucking kids.
and that happens, right?
And why do you want them to have kids? Because you want more slave labor. I mean that's really what it is. Why are people burning down warehouses? Because they're not making enough money to survive on. And what is there? If you're not making enough money to survive on, what benefit is it to not burn the fucking place down?
Well, and that's everybody has their opinion on that,
Hmm.
right? Um, we talk about it, right? You can drive farther in, and he just can't. From what his video said, I can't afford to live where I work, and it's like, man, a lot of people can't, right?
Well, you get that with a lot of the return to office bullshit that's going
Oh
on.
God, yeah.
And people are like, well, you're making me come back into the office. Am I getting any more money for that? Well, no. Why would we give you more money? Because you're costing me money. You're costing me drive time. You're costing me gas. You're costing me clothes. You're costing me food. You're costing me money, dragging me back into the office. And time is money.
Right.
You know, for me, if they called me back in, it's a 40-minute drive into the office every day. And that's the best time I'm going to make.
Right.
I mean, if it's a shitty day out, it could be an hour and a half.
I say, and
I don't get that time back in my life.
You know, it's just going to create thing. You know, but the problem is they're underutilizing their space that they've built and bought, and so they want to control. Right, companies are going back into control. Now, you know, again, back with the population decline, I do think that there's. You know, we see it with alcohol right now, right? There's a huge drop in alcohol sales because millennials and the other Gen X, right? We went through the brewery craze. We went through, so all of our kids have ever just watched us do is drink. I'm not afraid to admit, like, yeah, my daughter was in more breweries when she was born than shit, I'd ever been. That was a thing. And so, she doesn't want to be around that. Like, there's a huge health kick kind of going on. And so it's like, all right, hey, these people are choosing not to live that way. Also it's, all I ever heard was how fucking expensive it is to have kids, right? Oh, it's the most expensive investment of your life. It's the most rewarding, but the most expensive. I'm already struggling to pay fucking bills. And yet you want me to go do this, right? I have a buddy, and it's weird because, I understand like, I understand that there's a threshold that you have to have in order to get assistance, and that threshold is pretty low. But
Very low.
I look at my buddy and I just say, okay, so like okay, you have a house, you have, he doesn't have a car payment, so I'll give him that good credit. But like, he's got a house payment, he's got a couple other things that he pays for, and it's not easy to get by. And they're like, all right, hey, we're gonna go apply for WIC, and they're denied. Well, and it's like, man, okay, yeah, but in order to live here, it's going to cost me $1,500 or whatever it might cost. I think he actually pays like $2,300. But and it's like, I can't get help with cereal, milk, and things, so I got to figure out where the heck that money's coming from. So, okay, where do you make that cut? Sure, we can tell you to go find a cheaper place, which is an option, but you have 9 months to get that figured out. If you make that decision right when you find out you're having a kid, right? And okay, sure, I am shopping at Costco for my formula because it's $30 versus $70. It's literally $70 for name brand formula.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a $40 membership to Costco, it's there.
You can get them for $25. They run sales all the time.
Yeah, I wish it's funny because we always go buy something. We're like, oh, membership's up here, another $60 to the order. And it's like, damn, it was already expensive enough. I just get really annoyed with it. So, but, I say, with everything that's happening, all these people have student loans and they just feel like they're never going to get out of that. So,
because they're not. I mean,
might bring a kid into debt.
The system is rigged so that you will never get away from a student loan because companies and governments don't want workers that have any type of power or people that are, getting the better things in life, because that doesn't give them enough obedient workers. They need obedient workers. And how do you make an obedient worker? You make them afraid to live their life. You have to keep working, because if you miss a day at work, you might lose your job, and then you're going to lose your health care, and you're going to lose the house you live in or the apartment you rent or whatever it is. You're not going to have any food anymore. They scare the shit out of you with those things. And for a lot of people, that's a huge motivator. I've been pretty honest at the fact that I think by this time next year, I'm probably out of a job.
Yeah.
And even Angela, she's like, what are you going to do? I'm like, I'll have to figure it out. She goes, don't figure it out then, figure it out now. I'm like, yeah, I'm working on that.
It's always easier. It's always better to find one when you don't need it than it is to find one because you have
to.
And
I'm going to be 49 in 2 months, less than 2 months. I don't want another office job. I don't want to go work for somebody. I need to do what Dawn did. I need to do my own business because I'd rather work for myself.
When I think starting doing bookkeeping, right? I think you're gonna find that you'll be able to do some side hustles that'll make you the things that you want to do. And I think
Well, I
it's gonna
mean,
be huge for you.
we really have a lot of. I want to get that sand fucking sold.
Yeah.
So I told Dawn I'll start taking the reins on getting rid of the sand because it's useful.
Yeah.
And there's no reason not to. And she just doesn't have time,
Right.
Because she's running Break Room. She doesn't have time to run two businesses because if you're really a real business owner, not an Elon Musk business owner, you have to pay attention to your fucking business.
Yeah. Well, or hire the right people to pay attention to your business.
Yeah,
right?
but then you're spending more money.
Yeah, but if you're making more at that point,
I
right?
mean, yeah, that's great and all, but our business here survives on people coming in and using it, and we're not a necessity.
Right. Oh yeah, that's the thing. You'll be one of the first cuts, right?
Yeah.
So I haven't figured out how I'm gonna present this to you.
Okay.
But so there's a proposal out there that is pushed for a constitutional amendment to limit House members to 3 terms or 6 years, and Senate members to 2 terms or 12 years. What do you think about that?
I don't think there should be any career politicians.
So you would say you support that backing?
Yeah, I support that.
Oh, great!
I support term limits.
You and Trump have one thing in common.
One thing.
Say this.
Yeah, but the problem with Trump is he says that shit, but he doesn't believe that shit.
Right.
Because he wants to be president for the rest of his life.
Of course.
So you can say it, doesn't mean it's true. And here's...
But, and that's one thing I supported, right? Because that's what we talked about.
Yeah.
His first presidency, you can quote me on air. I've said it multiple times. The one thing I supported Trump on, I hated the fact, whatever, right? I didn't hate him so much in his first term until he got through his first term,
Right.
But like the first time it was
the
like,
hatred grew.
right? But, and then, I sat here and I looked and I told you, I was like, man, all right, going to make my vote. This guy didn't do the one thing I supported him on and said, fuck, I mean, had he done that, I might have had a whole different perspective of granted, still think he's a shit human, but I might have had this perspective and said, okay, hey, we're getting things done. Because we sit here and talk about him all the time when it's, man, you know what? He gets things done. Might not be the right thing, might not be whatever, but he just goes and puts bills, right? And just...
he just waits for people to stop him.
Right. And he says, go ahead and sue me. And by the time it does it, it's taken effect.
Well, I'm going to ask you some leading questions here.
Yeah.
Would you describe me as a bleeding heart liberal?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Do you think there's... let's name some Democrats. Nancy Pelosi.
Okay.
Chuck Schumer.
Yeah.
You think I have any like for those people?
No.
No, I can't fucking stand them.
Right.
I don't like Hakeem Jeffries either. I do like AOC.
See, an AOC is too extreme for me.
See, I like her. But again, I'm very extreme.
I think when AOC first was out, I kind of... It was kind of like when Bernie was getting a little bit of his, AOC started to come out, and I was like, okay, I understand where she's headed. I enjoy this. I like where but then she just went to this complete crazy extreme.
See, and for me, that's the stuff we need.
Yeah. Well,
until we, why is the life so much better in a country like Denmark? And all we do is piss and moan about, well, look at how much they pay in taxes. Yeah, they get stuff for their taxes.
Yeah, those fucking people are happy.
Yeah, they give them things for their taxes.
Yeah.
They get, maternity leave, and if they don't make enough money, they get a stipend for money. I mean, their taxes go to fund their life. They get free health care.
Yeah.
What do we get for our taxes? We get a fucking paint in the fucking reflecting pool in DC.
Well, and we get more taxes.
Right.
Right.
That isn't doing anything that really could help us.
I get that I'm killing myself. I do, right? So nicotine, I went my whole life without dipping, and now I think I've been doing it longer than I think. When I originally started, only a few years back, I was buying a tin for $6. And then it became $7. I went to New York and it was 10. And I was like, shit, I should have bought some tins in Michigan because they were cheap. And then now I looked at it and it's $11,
Mhm.
including all of my taxes on this, right? Because they're sure I've now switched to something different, and it's funny because oh gosh, 3 months ago or so, it's probably been a month, but anyway, the past few months I've been paying $2 a tin
Mhm.
because I switched, and then all of a sudden the promotion stopped, and now it's up to like $4 and something cents. My shit doubled, and I'm like, I just gotta stop, right? And I have enough for like two left, right? And I'm like, I'm just gonna stop after this. So I'm hoping I use them up tonight, and then wake up tomorrow just in a pissy mood. But then my problem is like Friday. So if I'm dealing with these kids, I'm not sure I should be without that nicotine for that little bit of time. So there's never a good time to stop.
Like I hate smoking,
Yeah.
okay, because I grew up with it.
Yeah.
But what I do understand about nicotine is it really helps with anxiety.
Oh God, yeah.
And as somebody who's had major anxiety issues, sometimes you need something to take that edge off. So for me, it was drinking. If I drank and I got really hammered,
Yeah.
all of a sudden my brain shut off and I didn't hate myself as much and I wasn't as anxious and stuff like that. And there weren't enough people that understood what was going on because I was on anxiety medication, it just wasn't working for me.
Right.
And I mean, we had this talk a little bit before we got on air of it's different now because now all of a sudden I have medication that's working.
Right.
So now if I drink a little too much, it's because I'm just having a good time.
So what happened, last night I drank a little too much. I had such a good time. I just enjoyed myself, right? I was like, I'm just gonna let loose a little bit. And then I regretted it in the sense of like my wife could tell she's like, oh, just this. And like her responses were just pissing me off. I'm like, look, I'm really just like I'm like I was bowling, high five and high, doing all like I wasn't just kind
You
of
were just
sitting
having
there.
fun.
I was too. And then it just kind of like shit on it. It's like, man, why the fuck am I trying to be responsible? Hey, well, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just keep going because if I'm gonna get bitched at, I might as well get bitched at for the whole thing.
Well, see, and Dawn usually gets really pissed at me when I drink too much, but she wasn't happy with a couple of the things I
Right.
did on Sunday night because I got a little,
Yeah.
too lovey. We'll say I got too lovey. But usually she's pissed at me because I'm mean.
Right.
Because I'm like, fuck you, Dawn.
Right.
Fuck you. But the only fuck you she got was she didn't want to keep drinking. She's like, I'm not going to drink anymore. I'm like, fuck you. You have to drink with me.
Say.
But other than that, I mean, we were talking and, she was asking questions about when I was younger and stuff. And, oh, hi, Dawn.
Perfect timing.
And, for the most part, it was just us enjoying each other. And I mean, you've been around me. You and I have been around each other a lot when we've drank too much, and we know how dicky we can be. And that's usually her experience.
Oh yeah, no, I say it's been quite a different experience with you, like, and you were drinking, right?
I mean, your birthday, I was fucking an asshole.
Well, what's that? But like it's different to see like a whole different thing,
Yeah,
of what's coming out. So you'd mentioned like you and Don talking about like your childhood. So that's something that you guys don't usually talk about.
No, we really don't.
Yeah,
we got on to
my wife and I are doing as well.
So like we went out with my mother, Ring,
yeah,
for Mother's Day.
Yeah,
and I love my mom, I really do. Okay,
yeah,
but she makes it difficult sometimes.
Yeah.
So we had a couple drinks while we were out. We got home and I said to Dawn, I'm like, we should just drink on the porch. And she's like, all right, I'll drink with you on the porch. So I made her a drink. I made me a drink. And she was, she had told me, she's like, this is way too fucking strong. I don't know what the hell you were thinking. But
2 shots vodka.
We start talking. I'm not drunk at this point, but she's like, I've shared with her some of the things I heard growing up from my mother and my grandmother and my aunt. And of course, I shared some things that, my father has said to me my whole life. And she goes, you really, even though you had a supportive mother, there were a lot of times she wasn't overly supportive. I'm like, yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
And we started, especially now, like now she is not, she thinks she's being supportive because like if something comes up, she's like, well, I'll just give you money for it.
Gotcha.
That's not what I'm looking for. I don't want your money. I just, I want a little bit of empathy.
Yep.
And empathy is very hard for boomers.
Oh God, yeah.
Especially boomers like my mother.
Who dealt with people in a hospital constantly.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, she was an RN for 30 years.
I say I was talking to Angela as well.
Mm-hmm.
And she'd asked a question or whatever about my parents and something. And I said, you know what? We'd been just kind of dabbling a little bit. And I said, I tried to think back. And my parents divorced when I was 5,
Mhm.
and I actually don't remember. I'm trying to think. I don't remember any part of my life before 5 years old,
Mhm.
right? I don't remember my parents being together. I remember the divorce. I remember, you know, second, third grade, like kind of getting, and then teachers asking me to help other kids because their parents are going through divorce. And, I don't know. I've always been an honest kid. I'm like, well, you get 2 fucking Christmases and your parents are going to hate each other. Like, all you're going to ever hear them do is just complain. Now this whole new co-parenting bullshit, which I find to be completely bullshit. I don't want to get into that, but uh, say, it's weird. Like, I will talk to some other people who like remember so much of their. I remember all the negatives and I remember a bunch of stupid shit, but like I don't remember it before the age of 5 years old.
Well, and I texted Steve that night because, when I'm looking for some kind of affirmation,
Absolutely.
I go to Steve.
Yeah, oh, Andy, baby.
And then I texted Mike as well, and the first words out of his mouth are you drunk?
Yeah. Which is hard, right? Like
It is.
Yeah.
I don't usually get very lovey when I'm not drinking.
Yeah.
And I talked to him today. I'm like, I was drinking. I wasn't drunk when I texted you.
And he'll never believe that. That's
Probably not.
right. He'll be like, yeah, okay, whatever.
I just told him, I'm like, listen, you coming back into my life, it was a great thing. And I just want, I really appreciate you. I really think you're a good person. Stuff like that. Stuff I felt Mike needed to hear.
And it's funny because like I do that quite often.
Mhm.
It'll be late at night. I literally not even drinking. But one of the best things I started to do is literally just
Notice the shirt.
text friends and stuff
Yeah.
out of the blue.
Yeah.
And just say, hey man, I want to let you know you're doing great. And this, hey, I want to let you know this. You know what? And like, so because if I have that feeling,
Mhm.
I need to share that feeling.
Mhm.
And it's funny because how many of my friends are like, shut up, you're drunk or whatever. And I'm like, nah, man, just literally thinking about you tonight. Like, and literally not drunk, right? Like, just, yes, okay. Am I, maybe I'm depressed or something, like in a mood. But hey, I just want to share with you, right? Like, Jesus.
Both getting calls.
Right. Say, maybe it's somebody that needs us. But so that's a thing that I was, I haven't done it in a long time. It's been quite a few months since I've had my kid for sure.
Yeah.
Even before that, right? Because you get into like these things where it's like, hey, you try to practice something, and then the next thing you try to work on getting better, but you forget the things that are the newest to you.
Yeah.
Right. Say I was listening to a TikTok before I got on with you, and it was about a guy who automated his job.
Mhm.
And then the automation got screwed up because they did an update. And he goes, after 3 years, I forgot how to do my actual fucking job. He goes, it used to be just so easy. And I was like, man, I feel that, right? It
Yeah.
scares me. So, but anyway, after our tangent, so The Economist, right? So, Dr. Paul Isley, he comes in, in West Michigan, we're gonna have the decline in population. One of the biggest things is we cannot build fast enough for things. Also, we have finally seen a downturn in people wanting to come to West Michigan, which is really going to suck, right? We're not getting the tax breaks that we should be getting to build the things that we need to bring the people in that we're going to bring in, right? Because we were bringing in a higher class of people, right? We were bringing in a lot of Chicago, California, New York people, right? High income earners who wanted to come to a livable space, right? Because I mean, if you're making 400,000 in New York, you're living poor.
Yeah.
You're making 400,000 here, you're living really comfortable.
Yeah, you are.
You're especially at a young,
Hey, Jeff.
21 to until you hit adult, until you hit married life, right?
Yeah.
You're going out partying, you're doing all this at $200,000. You can afford a great life here in West Michigan, right? New York, it's all your apartment, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's crazy. So, we are going to see a drop in getting people in. Also, he did say, hey, we have a 10. God, I wish I had that slide. It's a 10% decline in the best, because we used to grab the best people from other countries and bring them here, doctors, engineers, all these types of things. And so it's a huge decline because of Trump putting in the limitations.
This is something I wasn't privy to as much before I joined the 501st,
Yeah.
but I have a lot of these friends now. Do you know what a dink is?
Dual income, no kids.
Yeah, I got a lot of those friends now.
Yeah.
And they have no interest in having kids.
No.
None whatsoever.
Yeah.
And it's millennials and Gen X.
Yeah. I say, and I don't blame them, right? Like, sure, I have kids, so it's a question. Hey, are you guys going to have kids? I only want to know that question. And they're probably tired of hearing it. The only reason I want to know is because that's the one time I'm going to ask you.
Mhm.
If you seem like a decent person that wants to have that conversation, I'll go, oh, hey, like, why or whatever. Oh, man, I live this great life. Awesome. Now let's talk about this part of your life and all these. Like, to me, there's nothing wrong with not wanting them. I'd rather a person admit not wanting to have kids than go out and having kids they didn't want.
Yeah, because we don't need more kids that
Aren't wanted.
right. We have enough of them.
Right. People ask me, if you ask me today, if you're Skylar, hey, should I have a kid? I'm gonna look at you and go, fuck, man, like this kid right now is just, it's a lot of work. But I will tell you, at the end of the day, like, it is very rewarding. It is very awesome to see somebody else in your life succeeding.
Best thing I ever did was Caitlin.
Yeah.
It's by far the best thing I ever did. Now, I'd love to be a grandpa someday, but she'd have to find somebody that she wants to settle down with, and she hasn't been able to do that. And
Right.
that just might not be in the cards. And if that's not in the cards, that's life.
Yeah. I say, but you can't force them to have it.
No,
right?
I mean, it is what it is. I don't pressure her. What I pressure her for is, hey, I'd like to see you start dating because I know you'd like to be with somebody. You know what I mean?
I'm in a men's group on Facebook. And somebody had posted, hey, my wife and I didn't want to have kids, but our mother-in-law is offering us $200,000 to have a kid, so we're thinking about it.
Nope.
And the amount of nopes. And it was like, look, just fucking wait it out. You're going to get that $200,000 anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
Someday she will die.
Right. And, if you don't want them, don't have it. But, like, definitely don't have a kid for the money.
No.
Right? Like,
that's like having a kid to stay with your significant other.
that being said, I do understand surrogacy, right? Getting paid for it because that is a lot of toll on the body and things like that. And you're giving people that want to have kids.
That's fine if that's what you want to do.
Right.
But just to say, yeah, I'm going to have a kid now because I was offered a couple $100,000, that doesn't help.
Awesome. Thanks so much for joining from the post. We appreciate that. It means we know it's working. So, hey, if you have a topic that you want to talk about, tonight's topic is talking about the economy, where we see things headed. But we'd love to hit specific topics if you're interested.
What do you think of the housing market at this point?
It's pretty flat to me.
Do you think prices are going to start to come down at all? Because so like my house in Plainwell, which pretty well, big house.
Yeah.
It cost like $27,000 in 1972.
Yeah.
And it'd probably sell for $300,000 to $400,000 now, which it has to have the right person because of the size of house that it is. Not most people don't need two kitchens.
The house we looked at is online right now.
Mhm.
We were offered it at one price, and it's listed at 50,000 more than what we were offered it for. That is, I'm going to be honest, that is going to sit for a very long time.
Mhm.
It has only been up on one day. I'm going to let you know in the next weeks if I'm eating my words, right? It's a beautiful house. Normal houses in this area are in the, let's call it 3,500 square foot range.
Okay.
This house has finished 8,000 square feet.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Has potential of 4,000 more above, maybe a little less because the attic, whatever. But let's still, right? It has potential to be a 12,000 square foot. It is the biggest house in the area. It is a lot of money, right?
Mhm.
Houses in that area go for, I say, if it's going for, 500, this is up for 800 because it's double the house.
Yeah.
And you're really getting it. So, that's going to stay, right? We are still seeing things sell
Mhm.
really close to list prices. Not necessarily dropping yet.
But nobody's sitting there bidding it up 50,000
No,
like
we're not,
they were
no,
2 years ago.
We're not seeing that. I mean, you get the asshole realtor that will list a $250,000 house and put it at 180 just to get that bid. Excuse me, because that's their tactic is like, hey, we'd rather have a bunch of people interested in versus putting it at 250 and having it sit for 6 months, right? Agents are, oh, I have the best sales technique in the whole world. No, you're a fucking scam artist. To say, um, it just pisses me off so much.
Well, a house is still a huge expense. And I'm going to tell you right now, my house, I could probably sell for around
Yeah,
250 to 3. I would never pay that.
you're in Byron Center.
I paid 130.
I will tell you, I'm gonna, if I take a quick 20-second guess on your house, 280, right?
Yeah, I could see that.
Like I just boom, not knowing everything else, just
I owe 63,000, 62,000, something like that.
yep. But and if you're looking to downsize, you'll be okay. If you're looking to go bigger, yeah, you're kind of screwed, right?
Yeah, because I'm going to spend that much more. I kept telling
Your
people
interest
this.
rates are just gonna be higher.
Well, I keep telling people this. I told them this, when they were looking for houses. I'm like, you can absolutely sell your house for more than what it's worth, but you're also buying a house that you're going to pay more than what it's worth.
Yep. Well, and you have to figure out. Look, if you were to sell your house, my only advice would be A, move into your plain well one.
Yep.
Or B, there's $220,000 of equity. Go pay cash for a house. Now you have no worries. You have no things. That's the only reason I would do it. Currently, you're making your payments. You're doing all the things. You said you owe 60. At your age, you're 49.
Yeah, I'm almost 49. It'll be paid off by the time I'm 55.
And this is a topic. Let's go with it. But I would almost look. Okay, so if you happen to lose your job, we talked about this a little bit off air. Like, hey, if you're going, do a refi and do a 30-year, that way it buys you more. Excuse me, more time to get things. It's a possibility, but at 60,000, yes, you want to leave your kid money. You're not at the retirement point yet. I might even just take, because you have other investments, and there you do. Honestly, take some investments and just pay the damn thing off. That way, you only have to come up with your taxes every year. I'm gonna go grab some water quick.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, and I mean that's an option. I'm at this point, I got a lot of things up in the air, and a lot of possibilities that I can do, and that's really what I'm looking at is some different possibilities. Obviously we have sand to sell here. I'm gonna start to lean into that. I'm gonna do some bookkeeping stuff for a few people. So there are options out there. I'm at that point where I don't want to work for other businesses because it's soul sucking at this point. You know what I mean? And I'm just not willing to sell my soul for any of that.
I think working, I think working for another business wouldn't be a big deal as long as it's a business that you believe in and trust in.
Oh, 100%.
Takes care of you, right? We kind of talked about John, right?
Yeah.
Like,
we talked about him before we got on here, and one of the things you were like, well, is 40 hours working hard as a business owner? And I said, I don't think he counts anything that he's not doing physically as work.
Something I never did either.
I mean, Christy told me he's worked on the vehicle almost every day. Not that it needs a lot of stuff done, but it needs some stuff done. I don't think he counts that as work. I don't think he counts any of the sales calls he makes as work. I don't think he counts, any of the estimates and stuff as work.
Right.
He counts putting in a system as work.
Right. And that, yeah, like physical, and I did the same, right? Like, physical labor was always the way that, because the physical labor is where you make the money, according to an employee, and that's where his mindset has to change. Like, technically, your money is made on the sale, and then you get the results of your sale when the physical system goes into play.
Dawn refers to Mondays as Marketing Monday.
Yeah.
because she does marketing and bookkeeping every Monday.
Yeah, which is great. She has a great. You know how often I do bookkeeping?
Hardly ever.
Well, I mean, I was doing it driving down the road the other day.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
here we go. So I'm trying to get better at it, but I wish I had set times to sit here and just go, hey, this is what I'm doing.
She has found if she doesn't set certain parameters, it just doesn't get done like it should.
Right.
And she would rather sit there and take a Monday and do 2 weeks worth of scheduled posts,
Yeah.
Or do the schedule or do bookkeeping than try to figure it out on the fly. Like we're posting clips more often now on the Bucks and Brews TikTok
Yeah.
and on our YouTube. I don't plan any of that shit out. I hop on daily, when I have time. Like we haven't been posting for like the last month because I didn't cut up any episodes.
Right.
Well, now I got 2 episodes cut up, so I'll just hop on every day and post some stuff because I don't want to sit there and take an hour to schedule a bunch of posts. And again, I need to have you start posting on Instagram because you're the Instagram one now. And when I've tried to do it, it wants to upgrade us to a business page if I do it on Opus, and I'm not doing that.
Yeah. And I say we found ways to make it easier, but
Mm-hmm.
we're still working. Say it's funny, we're still working just as hard as we were
Mm-hmm.
in Bucks and Brews. We're just finding things to help us grow. And I guess that's like what AI is going to do. We didn't replace a human.
No.
We just didn't create a job.
Right.
Right. So growth didn't stop. Right. Growth kept going. And that's, I guess, when it goes to AI, we're just using it as tools to help us get to the things that we need to do.
Well, I mean, you've been posting a lot of pictures with the Highland Cow on Facebook. And I know there are people that will look at that and go, that's bullshit because you're taking money away from an artist. No, you're not. You're not taking money away from an artist because you wouldn't pay anybody to do that shit.
God, no.
You just do it because it's kind of funny and, something to get you some engagement.
Yeah. And everybody's going to find a negative in everything, right? Like it's going to happen. But, AI is coming up with their own rules. To be honest, you've seen today's Highland Cow post.
Yeah.
I actually told 2 of them. So I used Gemini and I was like, hey, I want you to recreate the scene from Dirty Dancing of me dancing with the Highland Cow. And it created that. So I went over to ChatGTP and I said, hey, recreate the scene from Dirty Dancing using me and a Highland Cow doing this. And it said, hey, due to trademark, due to whatever, it can't do this. And I'm like, what the shit? Like, it's not them, right? Yeah. Like, I just need that.
The pose.
Right. I need the pose. I got to figure out how to, restructure the wording and all that. So it won't let you do certain things, right?
Well, I had it one time do me in my Tuscan on a bantha.
Yeah.
And then I asked it to do something else, and it's like, we can only do one.
Gotcha.
And I'm like, okay, because they couldn't prove that I was actually in my costume.
Gotcha.
Okay, I get it, but at the same time,
yeah,
what's it matter? But
yep.
They have rules.
I had one with my kid, and I was like, hey, put me in, and it was like, oh, we can't use anybody like under the age of 18 or whatever. Yeah. And I was like, oh, it's cool for the safety feature, right? But also, I wanted something. So, if it's a photo I take, it can, like the one I did for Ian, it was my photo. It just put me onto this. It pulled that information from the foundation that we were supporting, and it made that really awesome. It was all I loved that, but it wouldn't, if I had to be like, hey, can you pull my kid from here and my kid from here and put him with my wife? Mm-hmm. It wouldn't do that, which is really, it's cool to know that. So that's still old school graphics arts, clip and do all that type of stuff. So, I say back to the housing market, if interest rates lower, we'll see the market pick up a little bit. Going into summer is always a time people are wanting to move, right?
Yeah. Easier to move in the summer.
Yeah. So, but if interest rates stay the same, like they're projected to, we're going to see what this economy starts to bring with job losses, with things like that, right? I pull the foreclosure list every week. The list, it's not getting any bigger.
Okay.
People are finding ways to get out of it, things like that. But it's still around 60 between Kent and Ottawa County, right? A lot of those people figure out how to make their payments, do things like that, refinance, whatever it might be. But I haven't seen a big influx in it yet. So I will let you know and keep you posted on when that starts to happen, right?
Well, I think a lot of the problem out there is too many people can't afford to get into a new house. So either you can kind of afford what you have, but there's no real upgrading. Like I've said this before. When my mother dies, the only person that wants that house in Plainwell is me.
Right.
When I die, nobody wants that house in my family. They're going to sell that shit.
Yeah.
And then they'll have money.
Well, and I looked at, um, you know, I look at that, and Caitlin, yeah, she's just gonna want the money. She's not gonna want to live down
No,
there.
she
It's
doesn't.
way too much house for her.
Well, and she has no emotional tie to that house. I do.
Right.
I grew up there. That house is the house I want.
Yeah. And I mean, it gives you all the stuff that you want.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, Emerson's gonna come down and fish in the little pond.
Yeah.
It's a great piece of property. I really enjoy it. If I wanted to move, I'd definitely pick that house. Um, I like the outbuilding. There's a lot of great to it.
Yeah.
It's just too far away for me.
Right.
Right.
I don't know if I really, again, I plan on using it as a vacation type house.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about going north. I'm going to go south.
Yeah. Oh, we looked at going south for a long time, and then I ended up north because I found the price I wanted.
Mhm.
I think so. The government is currently working on multiple things. One, they're working on being able to take your current interest rate because you're paying what, 2.1?
2.7.
2.7. They're talking about, hey, you go buy another house, you get to roll your current mortgage over into that, and then finance the difference, right? So that way it helps people move and do things. Also, for me, prime example. One thing I just talked about your outbuilding.
Mhm.
So one thing I want on my property is I want I think it's 40-foot shed by 28 or by 20 shed, right? And I want on the back piece of my property, basically covering the fence,
Yeah.
from fence to fence, and then that it'll give me all the storage I want. It'll move my shop to where I want. It'll do all the things. But the city currently only allows like 120 square feet. And so the government's currently, there's a bill that's proposed and it's going in that says, hey, you have to take these limitations off because we want people to want to stay in these areas. We want things. They're going to stop limiting. One of the big things right now is builders only want to build $500,000 houses, right? Which is, so here in Byron Center, you're getting that new development. All of those are going to be 25 to 3,500 square feet houses. They're all going to,
They're cookie cutter. They all look the same.
but they're all going to be larger, right? They're all going to be these things. There's not going to be a starter home. So they're putting a law that says, hey, you're not going to be able to have a development that says the minimum that you can have. So, you've seen it a lot in Florida and other places. I travel, but areas I remember. But you're going to have a $500,000 house, 3,500 square feet, next to Caitlin, who only needs a 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom
Yeah.
single-story house that she can function in, right? Like
1,000 square feet.
yeah, say
1,200.
1,000, 1,200. And then next to that, you're going to have another big building. Next to that, you're going to have a duplex, right? For 800 square feet per side. You're going to have, that's what they're proposing, right? So that way you don't just continue to only have big developments because they're trying to stop the idea of home ownership being too expensive, right? They're taking a stance to say, hey, we need to make an affordable opportunity, right?
Well, and you get this in places like Byron Center a lot, Jonathan too.
Yeah.
They don't want any affordable housing out there because it lowers their property values.
Absolutely.
So keep the poor people out.
Yeah.
And I'm considered poor where I live. And I make decent money.
Yeah.
When I moved there, I was really fucking poor.
Yeah.
And I was underwater we bought the house in 2007.
Yeah.
Right before the recession. I was underwater for like 3 years.
Yep.
Because the market crashed. And I remember talking to Scotty because I'm worried about the economy and Caitlin was looking to buy. And he goes, all right, well, you bought in 2007. I said, yeah. He goes, what happened in 2008? I said, well, the Great Recession. He goes, what'd you do? I said, well, I paid my house.
No.
He goes, then why are you worried about if Caitlin's housing market crashes, she's already got the house. She's going to pay the house anyways.
And a lot of people, the world is the world. I don't know about the world, but the U.S. has started to look at housing as an investment. Sure, I invest in real estate, um, but what it starts to do is, hey, too many people are playing the appreciation game, right? And appreciation doesn't always win because we've seen many times over the years, right? Back in the 80s to or the mid 2000s, right? I mean, when the economy tanks, housing goes crazy, right? It's going to go down. There's always going to where there's a high, there has to be a low, right? The stock market does the exact same thing. People just need to figure out, hey, and the hard part is it's harder to get financed when the economy is low unless you have a job, and that's where the hard part is people can't buy houses, so they can't get it. That's why if you're not being able to buy a house and you can't sell your damn house, now you're screwed, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, I want people to understand that you will listen to pundits and financial people especially talk about the economy in terms of the stock market. The stock market is not the economy. It doesn't have shit to do with the economy. It's a guesstimate on a price that a company is worth. And even that, a lot of it's inflated because we allow all of these fucking stock buybacks. Listen, let's say I'm IBM. And I have an influx of money. I shouldn't be allowed to spend all of that money on buying back my own fucking stock to inflate the price of my stock. That is too close to insider trading, in all honesty. Yep. And what should be happening is I should be rewarding my employees. And those are the things that are pissing people off the most because, again, we've turned into a narrative of, well, minimum wage wasn't meant for you to have a house and healthcare and all of this other stuff. It was just meant, to be the minimum that you're paid. No, it was literally put in place by Roosevelt so that you could live your life. You could afford house, you could afford food, you could afford utilities, you could pay for those basic necessities on minimum wage. And we did away with that because, Reagan came in and he's like, oh, well, we have too many welfare queens. Dude, fuck you.
Well, and minimum wage should get you the minimum life,
right?
Like, yes, you have a 1 bedroom, you have a small house, right? Now everything's a tiny house, right? That's the things that you should be able to afford, right? Like, but you should be able to afford to live it for the rest of your life.
Yes.
If you want bigger, okay, then go buy bigger, right?
Well, and they say, McDonald's is only for kids. You know what? Kids are in fucking school at 10 in the morning and people are working at fucking McDonald's, okay?
McDonald's has changed. I couldn't tell you the last time I actually seen a kid in McDonald's. At least the two that I go to around my area, which, yes, fat jokes, I'll let them all come. Say, but there's a lot of a lot of adults working these things.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, McDonald's is paying 15 and above an hour now, right? Like they're going bigger, right?
Yeah, the problem is that the people aren't getting enough hours to sustain.
Okay. Right.
Now you might get $15, but you're working 18 to 20 hours. So you don't want to listen to Pinnacle Financial?
No.
So I mean you're still not paying anything at 18 to 20 hours a week.
Right. Well, and that's say if you're getting full time, then yes, it's fine. But if you're only getting part time, they're just doing the same scam system where they don't have to offer you insurance and they don't have to offer you things.
Here we pay pretty well here.
Yep.
But it's not a full-time job at Breaker. It's a full-time job for Dawn. It's a full-time job for Chris.
Right.
It's not even a full-time job for Chris. Because he tries to get in and out as quickly as possible. And that's fine.
Yep.
But, it can't, we're only open like 25 hours a week.
Yeah.
It's not a full-time job for anyone.
No, I mean, there's a bunch of behind-the-scenes stuff, but no, ISA, and especially in the summer, right?
We're not doing a Whitecaps game this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, boo.
I feel the same way. And I said to Dawn, I'm like, why? She goes, prices shot up.
Yeah.
So she basically said, "Hey, if I can get it for the price I got it for last year, even a little bit more, I'm willing. But if this is the price, if this is the best you guys are going to do, I'm out."
Right.
And they basically came back and said, "Yeah, that's unfortunately the best we can do now."
Great.
And it's like, all right, well, those places are going to go unused.
Yeah.
Because who the hell has money to pay? I have an idea of what it cost us last year.
Yeah.
Who has that kind of money?
And that's, I mean, they only want big corporations, right?
Obviously.
Yeah.
But how many of those are going to actually do that?
I mean, we'll see what the economy is bringing and, how it's set up. But, I know Farmers has their booth at the Van Andel. And so, they'll do a lottery every once in a blue moon. But, it's just quick, employee engagement. But, to do a company outing, it's insane, right? I wonder if there's a couple bowling alleys around here that'll, hey, they'll go to the Whitecaps, but that just means league fees are going to go up because
Yeah.
you pay it over the week time, and
Yeah.
it's just crazy to me. So,
Well, we're all watching our dollars. So we did a vendor show the other day. I want to talk about this a little bit.
I don't.
We were disappointed. Not in who put on the show, not in. We were disappointed in the fact that it was a lot of work to set up and tear down for not a lot of reward. Like we sold piss poor.
Yeah.
And it's not like our prices were bad.
Yeah.
It didn't have the foot traffic that we've had in the past doing this show. And people are more, I guess, responsible or more deliberate with their money.
Yeah. And,
And I mean, even you. So you got food from a food truck
I did.
and found out that was a rebranded food truck. And then you were pissed you got food from them.
Yep.
Why?
Because of who they support and the decisions they've decided to air.
And I saw your wife made the statement and somebody's like, well, I used to love them. And your wife said, yeah, we did too. But now we're being more deliberate with where our money goes.
Yeah. It's, when you attack my friends and people, right? I have a problem with that. I have a need to give you my money, right? It just, I bought food. I gave a food truck the amount of money that I made. So I literally had a 0 day.
Yeah.
Right. I spent 6 hours for $0.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand. I could have, I could have not bought food and packed a lunch, but technically, right. And so we talked about this after. I lost money. My wife brought me water, which cost her, $4 or whatever. And so it cost me money to be there. If it wasn't for you making the stuff, right? I in theory, if I would have just set up my stuff, I would not have paid for the booth.
Yeah.
I would have lost money. And so it's why try, right? And so that's the thing. Like with us, I don't do it to make money. 90% of my money, like I say, 100% of all of it goes back into stupid things like coasters or back into more shows, paying for the AI.
Yeah, I mean, I got a bill coming up for Zoom,
right,
which went up again. I got to pay for the website in October. We're gonna have to pay for Opus Clip again around the end of the year.
Yep. So yes, we do sell our 3D prints to just fund the podcast because, hey, we need to. We don't have sponsorship. Yes, sometimes we'll get some sponsors of some beers and things, which is great. We haven't had that in quite a long time, right?
Dawn's working on a brewery that she went to in Lansing today.
Oh, sweet. There you go. All of it, every little bit helps. So if I don't have to go buy that beer, that's that amount of money that I can put back towards this, right? To hope that it takes off someday.
Well, and we like being out there and talking to people and giving free merch and stuff away. We gave some free merch away.
Yeah.
That's great. We talk about the show every time. Somebody buys something, we talk about the show, we talk about Break Room. Yep. Do these things. If it's a kid, we talk about Pops and Pennies. Yep. And we like doing those things, but at the same time, we're hoping if we're setting up for this stuff that we're making some money doing it.
Yep.
Like the next time I'm going to be at a show I'm going to be at Lowell Pride.
Yep.
And we already have a plan. So I'm going to take a few of the dice stuff.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to take mostly minis and stuff like that because they're easy to pack.
Gotcha.
And they sell.
Yep.
I mean, some people don't mind paying $3 to $5.
But that was the thing I saw this time. We actually saw people minding paying. Like,
Yeah.
we talk. How many ducks you sold? 6 ducks for $2, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
I didn't sell any turtles for $1,
Yeah.
right? 3 for $1.
I didn't sell any of the frogs this time.
Right. My even like the dollar stuff. I didn't sell any dollar stuff, right? Like people were just like, no, no, no. And sure, you can say, oh, 3D prints because it's oversaturated. I mean, we're part of plenty of groups where we see people still buying things, right?
I sell better here
Mhm.
than I sold there. And usually I make a decent amount of money there. Like I track what I make. I made $200-ish less.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah. I made, I don't know, I made a third, maybe a fourth of what I've made like on the last one, right?
Yeah, usually people are spending money, but people are so intentional right now. They don't want to spare extra money, and I get it. I'm not spending as much as I normally do either.
Well, and I don't know. Again, it's not a thing. I don't know if it's because where we were located, right? Because we were right next to the face painter, which the parents are already spending money on their kids, so they don't want to come spend the money on this one. That's a possibility, right? Because hey, I've already spoiled you. I don't have to spoil you on 2 things.
Right.
Normally, if you walk through, it's like, oh, well, I can finally get you something cheap that you're gonna like, and so yes, we'll buy you this, right? And maybe that was another thing I thought of because it was like, man, maybe we shouldn't have been right next to the face painter because that parent's choosing to spend money there versus here. Also, face painter showed up 30 minutes later, whatever it might
And
have
left fucking early.
been, and left like 30 minutes early. And I'm like, God damn, I wish I could set up like
Yeah,
that.
no shit.
Like, that was frustrating for us because we're sitting here struggling watching this happen. But we got to sit next to Soda Joe, and he offered us jobs, which was great. So,
Yeah, we can go sell soda.
yeah, I said, I just can't do weekends.
Yeah, that's the
Not
problem.
that I can't, I don't want to. Let's be clear about
Well, I mean, I work here on the weekend. That's
Right.
what I would rather do is work at Break Room. I wanted to talk about this before we shut it down. So
Yeah.
we had a guy running for state house stop by our house a few weeks back.
Sure.
So him and Dawn have connected, and he basically said, "Hey, I'm interested in doing a fundraiser at Break Room." So he came in the other day. It was Saturday or Sunday. I don't remember which. And, Dawn took him around, showed him around, talked about, what we can do and stuff. And she was pretty deliberate on this part. She goes, listen, if you do an event here, you're pretty loudly saying that you stand with this subset of people, LGBTQ and BIPOC, because we're very loud.
Yeah.
And you're looking to get elected in a conservative area. You need to really think about, is this the best for my campaign of standing up here and saying, I agree with these type of things. Not because we don't want you to, but there will be backlash from conservatives in the area because, they're going to run with all the bullshit that conservatives always run with, they're for trans in sports, or they are living an ungodly lifestyle, whatever bullshit conservatives come up with.
Well, did you see there was a representative or somebody from California that just stepped down? Was it the governor? Asian
Mayor.
mayor.
It was a mayor.
Right, who supposedly
Was a Chinese spy.
Yeah, say and okay, you step down. I don't know if it's been prosecuted, whatever it might be, but that's all the only people give a shit about was, oh, it's definitely a Democrat, and it's like, man, okay, you will call it out when it's on this side, but let's talk about the millions and millions, right? Again, I'm the first to admit there's shitty people on all sides. I don't sit here and everything becomes so political, and that's what pisses me off about politics, right?
The shit that bothers me is so you'll see the posts about Ilhan Omar had said this. I think it was her. In my country, where I come from, if somebody's a child molester, we put them to death.
Right.
And then there were all these posts going, she's threatening the president of the United States. That's not what she said.
Right.
But obviously, he molested children if you're sitting there going, she's threatening the president of the United States.
Hey.
You know them?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. You want to give a shout out?
Aaron, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you listening. I say Aaron's getting big on TikTok now. His first one went off like a charm, baby. No, no audio on it. It was really fun to watch.
That happens. We have one on the Bucks and Brews page that's over like 170,000 views.
I think it's way more than that.
It might be.
It was doing well, so
it went crazy, like 230 comments or some shit.
Yeah.
It was talking about giving a 2-week notice.
Yeah, we'll see.
I've told people I work with, listen, if I get a new job, bye.
Yeah, see ya.
There's no 2-week notice.
Yeah.
And my boss knows. She'll know the entire time, everything that's going on. It won't be a surprise to her, but just everybody above her will be shocked.
Right. No, I don't think they'll be shocked. Let's go. Okay. We'll see ya.
Probably. They won't give a shit. I mean, they don't know who I am anyway.
They wouldn't even post your job.
Probably not. No, because 4 people in India do it right now. And in all honesty, the fucking guy would probably just call me Dave 18 times and piss me off for sure.
Gosh.
I waited for that. We had a meeting the other day, and I waited for him to fucking call me Dave because I was going to lose my motherfucking shit.
It's David. Oh,
you know what? Mike can call me Dave. He's known me for 30 fucking years. You don't call me Dave. You've known me for a long fucking time now.
Once every blue moon when I want to get under your skin.
Dawn doesn't call me Dave. She's known me for 26 fucking years. Yeah. Once in a while, she will slip and do that, and she's like, "Oh, that's weird. I'm not doing that again."
We were talking about it, but you joke and you call my kid Dave Jr. And you're like, fuck, Dave Jr. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
The worst part is like that's my father-in-law's name, right? And I'm like, no, this isn't happening right now. So, guys. As always, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your family. If there's a topic you want to hear, we'd appreciate you sending in that info, and we'll get that topic up to you. Something I'm trying to teach myself right now is some annuity stuff. It's a topic I thought about learning, so I was like, all right, here we go.
I'm really hoping we're back next week. We need to get back on a regular schedule and at least get 2 to 3 up every month.
I'm hoping.
I'm going to do better on cutting up the episodes and getting them posted sooner. So this one will go up for sure on Monday at the latest. I'll probably do it Monday because that's a week since our last episode was uploaded. Again, guys, like Nick said, if you have stuff you want to hear about specifically, please hit us up with that. We want to talk about the things you're interested in. Yes, we did say annuities. Nick wants to start talking about some annuity stuff, and we know enough to be dangerous.
Yeah, just not enough to have the episode yet.
Yeah, we want to do a little bit more research first. Like my mother has a couple annuities. So.
Does she?
Oh yeah.
Sweet.
Ring. So again, if you haven't liked our TikTok, please go do that. If you haven't voted for us in review, REVUE, Best of the West, please go do that. And vote for Break Room too. Anything left, Nick?
No, this was fun. Thanks so much for the tap water, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Yeah, thanks for joining, everybody. We'll talk soon.
You've dialed in
To Bucks and Brews, you might hear something
you can use.
like tips on your cash or tips on the suds.
You're gonna want to
The
use
smarts of these stuff.
because they know the
And
brews.
they know the Bucks, and they know they can't help the stubborn fucks.
So listen up, cause shit's not funny.
Save yourself some
Beer money, bucks,
and brews.
Bucks and
Bucks
Brews.
and brews.
brews.
Bucks and Brews.